How have you been?
Um, I've been good, tired. Work's been kicking my butt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's okay. It's all good. Um, tree, trying to
Updates?
get the tree removed. Got a second bid. First one came in at $7,000, and I was like, "You're crazy. We can get it for less." And then they came in at $12,000.
Oh my gosh. That's
So
crazy.
yeah. But what was really nice is that even though the guy said it was going to be $12,000, he did confirm that I was right between me and Andrew,
About what?
how tall the tree was.
And that's worth way more than 12,000.
It's to me, it's worth a lot. To me, it's worth a lot. I was like, wow, I haven't felt this good in a long time.
So you're going with him?
I think I might.
I'm basically getting paid at this point to
Yeah, yeah. You'll see me at the street corner trying to drum up some money for myself. Yeah, guess how tall the tree was?
90 feet.
That was pretty good.
100?
He said 110.
Oh, what was your guess?
I said 100 to 150 feet. And Andrew said I was crazy. And he said no more than 60 feet. And I was like, 60 feet? I was like, no way. I was like, this tree's freaking huge. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you look at it, and you're like, it's not that big. And then you stand next to it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so
Yeah.
little next to this tree.
Trees have a way of doing that.
Hmm. Yeah. So that tree's probably been there 100 years. So I'm really sad.
Wow.
I know. But the tree guy was telling me that it had a birth defect
Oh my gosh, 100 years ago?
100 years ago, and he's like, it's not always guaranteed to. It's like something about it like splitting in half, like it was two trees or something, and they combined into one mega
Like
tree.
conjoined twins? Or like
Yeah,
one
kind
twin
of.
swallows the other?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
It
that could
was
happen.
definitely, yeah, one twin ate the other, and because the branches were so big, because it was like a split tree or something, it had two trees out
Mm-hmm.
of it. And so one of the branches, which was one of the original baby trees 100 years ago, came crashing down.
Oh my gosh, and it brought the other one with it? Oh, it's
No,
all
but now,
together.
so it's like if you imagine it's just like forked like this, and then one half of it fork, like one half of the fork fell off.
Oh, I
And
see.
what's left is not good. It's weak. So it's all gotta go.
Wow.
They're gonna have to close down the road. It's like gonna be a whole thing.
Oh, really?
They're gonna have to bring a crane.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a whole to do. How long is that going to take them?
He was telling me the plan in days. It's like, oh my God. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wow. For people who haven't been to Candy's house, which is probably most of you, it's just there's one road outside of it with two lanes, each one going in
Mhm.
opposite directions. And so for that to be closed, I mean, a lot of people go down that road to get to
It's
other
a
things.
it's a main thoroughfare. Is that how
Yeah.
you say it?
Thoroughfare is the right word. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
that's how you
main
say
thoroughfare. Yeah, and it's very busy, and there's someone who has a motorcycle, and he does laps around the house every day.
it.
And I know because his motor is like really loud sounding. And one day I'm gonna find him, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
One day you're gonna just push your tree over as he's coming. That's the end of your shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out like with a bathrobe and curlers in my hair, being full on stay at home. But we're not here to talk about my tree, not today.
We're talking about other trees today.
We're talking about a whole copse of trees.
Oh, look at you. That word's come
Yep.
up a lot.
You know what? I thought so too. It came up in this book too. And I was like, all right, TJ.
Yeah. Liz. Oh, TJ Klune?
Well, TJ Klune introduced us to copes.
I think he did.
He did.
Or
That's where
was
I learned
it
it.
It wasn't also in Elantris? I don't know. I feel like we've seen it a few times. Or Starter Villain. I don't know. I feel like we've seen it a few places.
The first time we started even doing the vocab game was TJ.
Oh. Oh, that wasn't too long ago.
I know.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
We retired it because we spent too much time wasting time talking about my trees, but yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of words we don't know, so the vocab game was taking a substantial amount of time. I would have a lot of words for this one too.
Oh my gosh, I know. I've had a ton as well. So do we want to do the book Olympics and then get into the book?
Oh yeah, let's do our classics. Would you like to cue the music, please?
Doom, 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 doo, doo.
Is that the Olympics music?
I have no idea. To me it
I
was
don't know either.
I was thinking of like 60 Minutes with Dan Rather.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I don't know if that is the vibe we're going for.
I know Dan Rather. I think he got canceled. I don't know what he did. I can't remember now, but
Probably something. Okay, I would like to point out too, before we get to our book Olympics, such a bad influence, highest retention rate ever. Pretty much 100% of the people who listen to episode one, well, the same number of people have listened to episodes one, two, and three. They could
hmm
be different people, but it could be the same people. And that's pretty cool because most of the time, number one has like double the number of listeners.
that's true. Normally, as we call the conversion rate
Yes,
in the
yes.
business world, the conversion rate will be probably anywhere from like, depending on how popular the first episode is, about 10% from the first one
Mm-hmm.
to the second. But once you get to the second, then you're pretty much guaranteed to finish it. So you get a
People
lot
are
of people
hooked.
who might, yeah, a lot of people who might click on it, but then if you listen through, then you're pretty much guaranteed to go all the way.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's
such a
a
bad influence. It's a good one.
yeah, that's a astute observation. We did get another couple of votes for our neck and neck vote.
We did. Yeah, so now we finally have a someone's in the lead now. So on what is it, part two of Addie LaRue?
I think it's part one.
Might be part one. Okay, yeah. We have a poll that says, would you make a deal with the devil to get out of, or no, would you sell your soul to the devil so you wouldn't have to raise six kids?
Yep.
And it was 50-50 for a good while.
Yep.
But another vote came in, so now yes is in the lead.
Yep. That's me. Chrissy's nah. She was betting on Pony nah, and I was betting on Pony yes.
Well, there's still like 100 days left in the poll. So whenever this comes out, you can still answer it, I'm sure.
There's still time. You can still listen to the episode and vote.
Hmm. Have you asked people in real life, IRL, this question?
I haven't. Have you?
I haven't either, but I think it could be kind of fun. Could be a fun
All right.
conversation starter.
I might need to. I might need to.
I just feel like selling your soul is just, it's kind of extreme, you know? It's kind of a
A
lot.
six kids is kind of extreme.
It's the devil.
And here we go, round and round.
So yeah, so all you listeners, settle the debate for us. Take our poll.
Yes.
Whoa.
2024 election, forget it. This is the most important poll.
Yeah. These are the pollsters we need.
Yes.
All right. So Book Olympics just pulled it up for the first time in a while in a shocking third place. We have Candi, basically.
Oh,
We have Georgia. Wow. But Georgia is just 2 points behind who's tied for first and second, which is Texas, which is showing up first. I think they have slightly more listeners,
yep.
followed by a very close California. So
Yes.
Texas,
First
California, Georgia. That's our order.
first place, neck and neck. It could be anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Houston's still leading the charge in Texas. And California, I think we have some devout LA fans. So
We
welcome and
sure
thank you.
do.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow, exciting. Well, Texas representing. Everything's
Hmm.
bigger in Texas, even our listenership.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yep. And we are still almost 30% international. We have a pretty solid international following. And I know that because every single episode, it's like 30% international.
That's really impressive. I want to talk to those people. Maybe what was her name? F. Smith. F. Smith, are you from the UK? Are you our UK listener? We need to know.
We need to know. Absolutely right.
I don't know. Yeah, please write in booklicious.pod@gmail.com.
That's right. Okay. Are we ready to get into this thing?
I think so. Okay, welcome to Bookalicious, a podcast where two sisters chat about books. We're talking about God of the Woods today. I said it differently. I'm Chrissy.
I'm Candace.
and and it's a mystery book, which is why I kept you on your toes by switching up the intro.
That's true. I had no idea what was going to happen.
Nope. Yep, it was sneaky. So we're finishing God of the Woods by Liz Moore.
Yes.
We had a lot of theories last time. I think all of our theories were debunked. I don't think we got anything.
We got
We
we
got
got
a little
one.
bit.
We
We got
got
a little bit.
some.
Okay, yeah. We got a little bit. But I was pretty there were some twists I wasn't expecting.
I made that offhand comment about Auntie Delphine. And the next page, I was like, no.
Wait, did you say she was what did you say about her?
I said maybe her and Peter were in like this, we hate each other but can't stand like but find each other
Oh my gosh,
irresistible.
that's right. Oh, I'm
I
so
just
glad you
like
said that.
I just said it off the cuff. I was like, maybe, who knows? And then the
Yeah.
next page I read, I was like,
Oh,
oh my God.
made me so sad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what do you think? Believable? Were you here for that storyline?
It just uh, like why would Delphine set her sister up with this guy and not let her know that they're in this weird open relationship with each other?
Well, okay. And so for people who are relying on our detailed summaries to keep along with the book, we find out at the very beginning of this last section that Alice has walked in on Delphine and Peter sleeping together. And she's like all cozied up next to Peter in a way that Alice has never been. And it's really sad because Alice is like, even when I was like depressed because we had moved away from family and all these things, and I wanted to like, cozy up next to Peter, he said, "Oh, you just have insomnia." And he pushed me away. And so he never was physically affectionate with Alice, but she sees that he is with Delphine. And then, yeah, so then we find out that they've had this whole affair for years. And yeah, Delphine and her husband, her late husband, they were in this open relationship. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. Whoever you want to be with, fine with me. And I'm like, that seems kind of strange, but I guess so. Okay. And so then Alice finds out that whenever Peter has been going to New York or wherever, he and Delphine have probably been like going out and getting dinner together and basically being a couple that she and Peter never were. So very devastating. Why would Delphine set her sister up? I mean, it kind of seems like the whole idea here is everyone is using Alice, including her sister. And Delphine was like, I like two guys. I'm married to one. Now this is a way to keep guy number two close. Do you think? Like, do you think she had this intent from the beginning, or do you think it just kind of developed?
It it really gave me vibes of Prince King. God, what's his name?
Can't remember.
Sorry, UK listener.
Oh
Your
no, we
new
failed them.
your new queen consort Camilla, and I can't think of his name right now. It's not Charles. Is it Charles?
Charles III,
Yeah.
King of the UK. That's what Google's telling me.
Yeah. I was gonna say Charles, and I was like, no, that's not right. Okay, it's giving me a lot of Charles and Camilla vibes.
Mm.
And especially how they describe Alice as like petite and dainty and innocent and blonde and beautiful, like Princess Diana. And she gets in this relationship. Unbeknownst to her, the guy is like totally not into her and just using her to
Oh,
make an heir.
sad.
Yeah, that's the vibes it was giving. And I was like, maybe Delphine's husband was like bisexual or gay or something that he didn't feel like he could be in the open. And that was like an arrangement that they had.
Yeah. Hmm. Could be. Okay. I also, though, have questions of like, because eventually they stopped inviting Delphine to the parties, to the Black Fly goodbye or whatever, their
Yeah.
summer soirees. Is it because, why was that? Was it because Alice was like onto something, or was it Peter's like, we should stop this? I don't think that was it. Was he like tired of her?
Well, so Alice caught them the week that Bear disappeared.
Right.
Did they stop having the soirees after Bear disappeared?
I don't remember. Oh, I think you're right. I guess you're right. They stopped having the soirees. I thought though there was a time where they had soirees and Delphine wasn't invited. But I
Yeah, I
think
thought that.
you're, yeah, I think you're right though, because I thought the soirees stopped when Bear disappeared and then they started again, and that was the summer Barbara went missing.
Yeah. Yeah, so why did they stop inviting Delphine?
Yeah, wasn't
Maybe,
sure.
yeah, maybe they were worried that the cover would be blown. But it was weird because Delphine was like, "Oh, I tried to tell you, like you
Oh,
should
that
have
was
like your own fun."
crazy.
And I was like, "You are insane."
You absolutely did not try to tell her. I was like, that would, that doesn't make any sense. I had pulled up that line somewhere.
She's like, "Oh, Bunny Bear, I tried to tell you to have your own fun. Like Peter, meh, meh, meh." And it's like, you
What?
hate you.
I
Hate
know.
you.
Yeah, Delphine immediately went to absolute worst in my book.
She swan
Yeah.
dived to the bottom.
Yeah, she did. There's no redeeming quality for Delphine. Okay, do you feel like that for most of the characters where it's like they're either kind of all bad or all good? Or maybe either all bad or a mix of bad and good? Well, okay,
You,
okay, that wasn't clear.
I
What
was
I'm
like,
saying
that's
is
most people.
that's most people. Okay, but
Is there anyone likable
but
by the end?
well, no, what I was thinking, well, okay, that too, but also it seems like okay, there's bad characters like Peter 3 and Delphine who are like by the end it's like they're just all bad. I really feel like there's no redeeming qualities. Then there's some characters who are good who I think are good like TJ.
Yeah.
But TJ also has some things that maybe are questionable. Or like Luis. I guess they're kind of more of like a mix of things. It just seems like the bad characters though, they're like all bad. Do you feel like they're
I-
flat? I guess is what I'm asking.
yeah, what is Peter's motivation? Like what is Peter and Delphine's motivation for bringing her into this weird tryst and never letting her in on it? Like at any
Alice?
point they could have, yeah, with Alice, they could have been like, "Hey, this is what we're into. You can be in you can be in it too, you know?" But he was like very controlling and possessive of her and being like, "You can't do anything, only
I
me."
think I know. Well, I think that's what he wanted in a wife was just someone he could like boss around and who could like basically just look the part of being a nice family, but not actually get in his way. And so Delphine had too many opinions and, you know, too many brains to where she couldn't work as his wife, but he was attracted to her because of those things. But
Yeah.
Alice was just there, just there to be
Yeah.
used.
I feel like in this case between Peter and Delphine, Delphine is even worse
I
because
okay, why do you think she's worse?
she's her sister and she's supposed to be looking out for her like their blood and she set
Yeah.
Alice up with this guy.
Yeah.
She was like, "You go date this guy. He's friends with my husband and it'll be so fun."
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
I know. Okay, especially because it's like, yeah, he was never good to begin with.
Yeah.
So even when she set them up, she should have seen no good.
Yeah. She was 18 when she married this guy.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt very predatory.
Yeah. Do you
I
think
did
that's the
not.
point?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, Delphine's like, "I'm sorry. We were so bad to you." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, cool."
Makes it better. Okay, so my question is, does Delphine know the true story behind Bear? And we can catch our listeners up on this too. Do you want me to
Yeah. Maybe
summarize?
we should get into the summaries now.
Okay. Well, so I read this on the plane. I don't actually have a nice summary written out, but
Okay.
I'll say the nice big things. So, okay, so Alice found out that Delphine and Peter 3 are having an affair. This sends her into a whole tizzy, to say the least. And she's like, okay, this is the worst day of my life. And she's like, do I tell people? Do I confront Peter? Do I not? And she decides that she can put up with this for the rest of her life as long as she has Bear. And so then she decides that she drinks a little bit too much to try to drown out all of this. She stumbles downstairs during the whole party. Everyone's there. And she says, "Hey, Bear, let's go on a boat ride." And everyone's like, "Alice, you're drunk." And she's like, "I'm doing fine." Anyways, the grandpa says, "Sorry, Alice. Bear and I had already planned on doing a hike." Bear looks uncomfortable because he wants to please both his mom, but also like his grandpa's right there. Alice says, "No worries, we'll do it next time." Alice stumbles out to the boatyard. She hauls this whole boat off of wherever it is and pushes it into the lake by herself in her drunken stupor. Anyways, at
Nobody
some
sees
point,
her.
no, okay, nobody cares, is what I think. Because she stumbled out of that room and all those people saw her and they didn't follow her.
I know. She's in like a total
Outrageous.
like benzo alcoholic zombie mode. And they're just like,
Yes,
"Later, Alice."
I do. Oh, and there's a storm. There's a storm coming.
Oh
And
my
she's
god.
pulling this boat out. Yeah, and no one helps her. So, like, justice for Alice. She
They're
is.
like, "Check the weather report, Alice. It's gonna rain."
They're like, she can handle herself. Okay. Anyways, that happens. Bear does go on a hike with his grandpa, tells his grandpa he forgot his pocket knife or whatever, goes back to the house. But this is where we find out he did not go back to the house. He went back to the boatyard so that he could go on a boat ride with his mom because he saw that his mom was distressed. Alice says, "Yay, Bear's here." They go on a boat ride. It storms, boat tips over. Alice can barely save herself. Bear drowns.
Ugh.
Alice brings herself back to shore. And at this point, I think it's Vic Hewitt is the one who saw that the boat was capsized. He runs out to help them. And it appears that Vic Hewitt had locked Alice into the boat house or whatever. They have like a little shack out there.
He didn't want her to see that Bear
Right.
was dead, dead.
Dead. Yeah. So he dived in, saw Bear's body, um, locked Alice in the boatyard, ran to tell Peter one, no, Peter two, the
Peter
grandpa.
too.
Peter
Grandpa.
two. Peter two is shocked, devastated, absolutely like demolished. And then he's like, we can't let people know that this happened. This would look really bad for the bank if the mom was
God.
drunk and killed her son. And they're like, okay. So then Vic Hewitt and the Peters come up with this plan to hide the body and convince Alice that her going on the boat, that was all a dream. They came up with a story that Bear was just going on a hike with his grandpa. He turned back and then they never saw him again. And so they drugged her, told her this story, and that's what happened. They made the story work. They had the whole search party. No one could find the boy. Oh, I forgot. Vic Hewitt rowed the boy out on his boat. He said he was going to go search the waters, but really he
Mhm.
was burying Bear.
Mhm.
And so then he goes to that little island. Um, and does he see Slitter there? Right?
Slitter is like straight up Spider-Man.
Yes.
He's in the corner of the cavern, just looking around, and then he sees Vic with this little body, and then he buries it. And Jacob Slitter's like, that one's already dead, so I don't have to worry about it. And then that's it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So Jacob Slitter has witnessed all of this happening, which is why he's been throughout the story.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what happened around Bear. What happens in the rest of this story is that let's see, how does all that get uncovered?
Maybe
Judita
we should.
puts all the pieces together. Yeah.
Yeah, Judita puts it all together. But why don't we just talk about this first part and then
Yeah. I
kind of
think
the
that's enough.
past? Yeah, we'll talk about Bear and then we can talk about Barbara.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so we've already gone a lot into Alice and Delphine, and I think you had a question. What was your question about Delphine? Do you think
Did
she
she
knew
know
Bear was
about
dead?
Yeah, did she know the truth?
I don't think so. I think those Peters were like, we need to keep this locked up tight. And they're like, we already have to now commit Alice into being drunk and or high until the rest of time to make sure she doesn't spill the beans and remember. So I don't think they wanted to like tie themselves into like another person.
That's probably true. Okay, so you think only the Peters knew. What about the grandma? Do you think she knew?
She knew.
Okay, she knew. Why did she tip off Judy to go talk to Vic Hewitt?
Because I think she wanted those guys to go in jail. She saw her
Yeah.
opportunity. Because something that Alice said is she's like, oh, Peter too, the grandma, she's actually like very intelligent and smart and has things to say, but no one ever talks to her or acknowledges her like they do to
Mm,
Alice. So I feel like she saw an opportunity. She was like, here, I can slide the pieces, see if Judita could figure it out. If she can, my husband goes to jail. And if not, I didn't say anything too incriminating, so they won't know what I was doing.
mm. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, I think you're right.
That's what I would do. I'd be
She
like,
waited a long time. Well, I
she
guess
did
it was
wait a
like
long
what, eight
time.
years? No, it was a long time.
Well, I mean, she had to be with him that whole
16
time, so
years.
that's a long
But
time.
yeah. She's in it for the long game.
Yeah, I feel like I mean maybe you could make an argument that she wanted to see justice served for Bear, although it's like the person who killed Bear was Alice.
No.
She's really like the one who should go to jail. And what ends up happening is that the Peters go to jail for like obstruction of justice, but Alice gets off because of statute of limitations. And I was like, I didn't know that you could murder someone and then time can run out, but if you obstruct justice, that never times out.
I know that I
I was
was
like, I don't
confused
know
on
the
that
rules.
too. I don't know the rules either. I think it's because they kept the lie going. So they kept on hiding it. But something about Alice, yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I will say though, like, okay, yeah, Alice was at fault, but yeah, all those other people were at fault for letting Alice go to the boat. Like they're very guilty also.
Listen, Alice has done time served in her own brain. She's been in a self-made prison since this
Right.
happened. So I feel like she's done her due course. But I just feel like if we're talking like legal to the book, she seems like the most guilty for Bear being dead.
Yeah. True.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe, and maybe part of the reason why they went so hard on them is because if I'm thinking about it, well, would this be considered a criminal proceeding? Probably, right?
I think so.
So you'd have like a jury, and who would be in the
Hmm.
jury but the townies?
The townies.
And the townies hate your stinking guts because you let everyone think that Carl was the murderer.
That's true.
And so I could see them being like, guilty, guilty,
Uh,
the maximum penalty. I could see that.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of true though. It's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. But like, I can understand. Well, I guess I was like, I could understand like the cover up. Like, if you're like, I don't want Alice to go to jail because she was drunk because I was having an affair with her sister and I drove her to the to the brink. So I could like kind of empathize with that, but they only did it not for Alice, but for themselves,
Right.
the
Yeah, I
cover
feel like
up.
they did it, yeah, mainly for the bank and to like save the embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not great. Okay, why do you think Vic Hewitt built that, what is it, cairn? Cairn, like the stack of stones on top of Bear's gravesite? I know he said he marked it so he could go back and visit it, but I'm like, that seems kind of risky. Considering you're like sending out the National Guard basically to go look for this person, and then you mark the site where you buried him.
I know. I Okay. So
I
like
was like,
let's look
Vic,
it up.
what?
Let's look it up because I'm imagining it's just a couple stones stacked together where it's like if you weren't really looking for it,
Yeah, probably it is that.
you know.
Oh, I don't know. I
Uh,
mean, the first picture that comes up on Wikipedia is like a giant fortress of stones.
yeah, it's like look, it's giving like Stonehenge. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. So a cairn or is a human-made pile or stack of stones raised for a purpose, usually as a marker, as a burial mound. And so I'm imagining it's maybe like a couple of stones. Not This one is probably 20 feet tall. I don't think he did 20 feet tall. I think he did maybe like I think he did maybe like 3 or 4 feet. And it's like you'd have to be like in the cave to really know. If you're just kind of like putzing around, then you might not know. Like if you look at the one in the Judean mountains on Wikipedia, like some of these just look like a rock pile.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Some of these look like Stonehenge. So
Unclear which one Vic Hewitt built.
yeah, I'm imagining he just did like a little rock pile just so he could go back and visit. But you're right. Like
Yeah,
if you're thinking like how can I make sure nobody finds his body? I feel like putting a
not
monument on top
marking
of
it.
it. No, that's not the strategy.
I know.
And
Okay.
it and
Mhm.
oh, I was gonna
No, no,
say it turns out while he's piling up the rocks, who's in the corner? Not Jacob Slitter, he's there, but Tessie Joe.
that's what I was gonna bring up next. I know. Tessie
Yes.
Joe witnesses all of this.
Yeah.
Yikes. And what does he say to her again?
He's basically like, you got to keep this secret. I wasn't going to tell you, but you have to keep the
Now that you
secret.
know. Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So we find out some more backstory on Hewitt and part of the rub and why he's so committed to being the family's estate butler for so long.
Not only now that he is entwined in all their murder escapades, but
Yes.
also,
Also, he is an inheritor of the campgrounds.
Right.
once what? Once Bear turned 18, was it?
Honestly, I don't really remember, but yeah, don't they own like part of it or something?
So the first Peter made a deal with the first Hewitts, and he's like, "Thank you so much for showing me this. When this time comes, you're going to get this piece of the estate, which is basically like the campgrounds."
Yeah.
And the and Peter 3, maybe it's Peter 2.
Peter two. Okay, so what happened was Peter one. He really liked the Hewitts. The Hewitts are the
Yeah.
ones. The Hewitts knew the Slitters, and the Slitters were bumped out of town because they were logging, and now everyone decided they wanted to conserve the forest. Then the Hewitts were like, "Hey, Van Lars, here's a really nice piece of property we think you'd like." And I think they had like stayed there or something, and like they
Yeah.
continued to stay there because it's a really big property. I don't know. Anyways, Peter one was like, "Wow, this is great. Thanks so much." And so he like genuinely really liked the Hewitts, and he even adopted Vic Hewitt kind of as
Hmm.
his second son,
Yeah.
with the other son being Peter two. Peter two didn't like this very much because now his father's attention is split and he's like, "What the heck, dad? I'm your son." But now he
Yeah.
has to not only split his father's attention but also the inheritance with Vic Hewitt. So there's
Yeah.
always been that tension. But yeah, that's why Vic Hewitt has stayed around. And then they get even more entangled when Vic Hewitt helps hide the body.
Yes. And there was basically like a rub with Hewitt where it's like if he didn't do this thing, like technically he's in like whatever will it is, but it's not like ironclad. If the
Right. Oh
Van
yeah.
Lars
Mhm.
wanted, they could probably try to weasel out of it.
Right. Yeah. So he was partly hiding the body so that Tessie Joe could have the inheritance.
And he was very concerned because he said, I know for a fact Tessie Joe's going to become a lesbian and she needs to be able to have a cabin in the woods away from anyone who might see her and her girlfriend.
For the record, that's not what he said. He said she's always been a little bit different. But yeah, no, that's the idea.
He definitely was like, she's going to be a lesbian and that's not going to be okay. And she needs to be able to have a forest to live in.
Uh,
Is that not what he said?
those definitely aren't the exact words that he said.
Was that the
Like that was never
meaning?
explicitly said.
Was that
It's
the meaning of the
definitely alluded
words?
to. I'm just saying I don't want to like put words
Hewitt's mouth?
into Hewitt's mouth. Yeah.
All
Into
right.
Liz Moore's mouth.
When I we'll come up to the lines and I'll pull it out and then listeners, you can be the judge.
That can be our next poll. Was this explicit or just vague? You let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you stay there if you were Tessie Joe? What would you do?
You're so young.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. I found the line. Okay. Um with all right, so Vic is talking about his daughter. He wasn't deciding only for himself. There was Tessie Joe to think of, his daughter, who loved the land as much as he did, whose unusual demeanor and appearance and comportment had already drawn stares in town. With the camp, her future was secure. She would never be required to marry, not if she didn't want to. She could live without restriction, what he thought of as a quote, unconventional life.
She could also just be single the rest of her life.
I guess that's true.
I'm just saying I don't think it's as like directed.
All right, fair enough. I'll let you win this one.
Poll closed. Solve
Okay.
that mystery.
Yep. So what was the question? I forgot.
So what would you do if you were Tessie Joe? You stay there? You
Oh,
keep serving the Van Lars?
I think Tessie Joe's in a weird spot because she's only 10 when it happens. So there's not anything she can do about it.
Right.
until she's at least 18. And then it sounds like at that point her dad started declining. And like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's kind of true.
You know, like what are you get? You have an ailing father. You probably don't have like a lot of like liquid money.
Right.
A lot of your money or like wealth is tied up into this estate, you know? So it's like she couldn't just run off and like go live somewhere else. It was the 1960s,
70s.
70s. It's not like, you know, opportunities were abundant for strange women, women at all, let alone the strange ones. So, you know, like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I, I think, and the other thing too is that Barbara was born. And I feel like
Right.
Barbara and her dad for Tessie, TJ, they were really like the tethers.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like of all the things, I feel like TJ made the best choice in like investing in the Van Laar's second kid and being like,
Hmm.
I'm going to save you from all this crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she did, which is remarkable. And she gave the Van Laars what was coming to them. So I mean, she was really like destroying the beast from the inside.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so do we have any more thoughts on the bear side?
Let's see here. Okay, I gotta say, I was still holding on to my theory that Bear was running an underground world. Slitter said, "Look underneath all those stones, you'll find the boy." And I said, "Bear's gonna be alive."
Uh, I know.
He's alive.
When Jacob Slitter was like, I didn't kill him, but I saw who did, I was like, Bear's not running the bank anymore. I really loved that idea that we had where he comes back being a mathlete. Like that's all I wanted.
Delphine, you let us down.
I know. I know.
Delphine was
I
not tutoring him.
Liz Moore did a good job because I fell for Delphine hook, line, and sinker.
Gosh. I know. She put a lot of twisties in there. Okay, so Grandpa, we never really get why Bear didn't like Grandpa.
Sounds like he's just a miserable guy based off of what Vic Hewitt said.
Yeah. Sounds like there's lots of reasons. It's not like any of the Peters. Except
Yeah,
Peter
it's
one. He seemed okay.
Peter one seemed okay. Although I'm dubious now based on his entire lineage. But yeah, I that was just kind of a misnomer. He might have just been a stern grandpa. He
Yeah.
might have been perfectly fine, but he was just a stern grandpa. And sometimes, like when you're a kid, it's like you don't understand when people are being stern,
Yeah, that's true.
and it could be like frightening or you don't like it.
Yeah. True, true. Okay, is there anything else on the Bear story for you?
Um,
Oh,
oh, go
I
for
have
it.
another question. Okay, is Vic the actual worst because he went along with all of this and he could have turned them in when he had the chance?
Ooh. I wouldn't call him the worst because at a minimum, he is an employee of them and he's in a subservient or like secondary position where and like in terms of like the power dynamic, especially with like the will and he's a single dad and he's got a kid. So,
Yeah.
mm, and I would be worried if I was Vic if I said this is what happened. They'd turn around and be like, "You did it."
Yeah. That's true.
Because I can't remember what the trust is. I would like want to look back. Um, if like what was the condition when Vic would get the town? I feel like it's when the youngest Van Laar turns 18. I feel like that's in my mind.
I don't really remember that, but I don't know.
But yeah, I could just see, and they have so much more money. I could just see them like litigating their way into pinning it on Vic. So I would
Yeah,
be
that's a
really
good point.
scared. I'd be really scared to like mess with them.
That's true. That's true. Especially since it is kind of like, well, I guess I have the body there, but it's like your word against theirs. And
Right.
Alice is incapacitated.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, my other question was there was that Alice remembered she was like there's one time when I like, made a mistake or whatever and like but my mistake was drinking too much and it was the other guy's mistake for taking advantage of me. Something like that. Was that
Oh.
this time? Like is this that time? And that's part of the story that they told her? Or was there actually a time when another time when she
Oh,
had drunk too much?
interesting. It sounds like she was like already an addict by this point. She was
Okay.
already drinking her way.
You think even when Bear was alive? Because this is the day she found out that Delphine and Peter are having an affair. So up to this point, her life has been bad, but it hasn't been the
Yeah.
worst.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, because she started drinking more to be more social. But I think at this point is when she started drinking more just to like survive.
That could be. Wouldn't that be interesting if they were like, we don't want you to remember what happened because it was so bad. Hewitt took advantage of you.
Mm. Oh, they said it was Hewitt. That'd be really wild.
Yeah.
What a twist.
Well, because he's the one who found her and like dragged her over and stuff.
Right. I mean, she probably could have believed it was anybody
Yeah.
too, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. I mean, that could be. That would be the only event that I can imagine that was like said in the book that could tie to
Right.
it.
Right. Unless it's just a totally separate event.
Right. That we just don't know about.
Okay. Are we ready for Barbara?
Yep.
Okay, so Barbara's whole story arc, we find out that she found out that her parents were going to send her to terrible boarding school. Fun fact, I
Hmm.
found out this boarding school actually exists and people were
What?
abused there, according to Reddit. I didn't have a chance to look it up, but we should look it up. So she's
Okay.
going to be sent to this boarding school and she's like, not on my watch. So she and TJ devised a little plan where TJ would help her learn how to survive on the wood in the woods on her own. They practiced together every night during camp, and then on one fateful day, TJ would go drop her off in that little island. Is it the same island where Bear was buried?
Oh,
No, 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 no.
interesting.
It's
I don't
I
think so.
no, it's way far away, I think. Because
Yeah.
they have to drive there. Okay. So she
Oh, time out. It's Tessie Joe's like
cabin.
summer cabin.
That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
Yes. So she drops Barbara off on that island so Barbara can live there on her own Jungle Book style for 4 years until she turns 18. Then she's going to reappear and be like, I'm not part of the family anymore. That's the plan.
What if she is studying math the whole time and she comes back?
You just
She
want
comes back.
someone.
I want someone to come in, snapping, being like, this bank is mine. I'm 18. You're out.
I know economics.
Yeah. I've been studying math nonstop. Accounting, finance, econ.
You like build your own abacus or whatever while you're in
Yeah.
the woods.
Yeah. You're like, I've got it all. I run the bank now.
Well, that might not be an issue for her because they're all going to jail.
I know. She might be able to come back in, like snap right into running the bank. Well, because
Yeah.
Is John Paul going to jail? I don't think he's going to jail.
John Paul. Okay, so part of Barbara and TJ's plan, they're like, let's make this interesting. Also, TJ knows that John Paul has abused Luis. And
Hmm.
so she was like, I want to get John Paul in trouble for something. So part of their plan is they're going to pin it on John Paul. So Barbara's big mural that she paints, all these like really beautiful pictures or whatever. But then there's this river, and in the river, I think it's just their initials together. It's like BVL for Barbara Van Laar, and then JPM for John Paul
Hmm.
McLennan. And the detective finds out, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they were in love, or at least Barbara loved John Paul."
Yep.
And TJ is the one who planted the bag of drugs in John Paul's car. Or no, was it the
She
drugs?
planned
Drugs and the bloody clothes.
and the bloody clothes, which we did
Both.
predict correctly. Those were the clothes from the camp.
Mm, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So TJ did all of that. She did not foresee John Paul then pinning it immediately on Luis. So
And
that
everyone
was that
falling
was a
for it.
hole. Yes.
Yeah. And TJ's like, oh,
It's like, come on.
she's like, how can I make it any more obvious? Well, what we find out is that part of the reason why I think Annabelle flipped is because she has been canoodling with John Paul,
Yeah,
Luis's fiance,
allegedly.
allegedly. And it's like Annabelle is 17 and John Paul's like 30.
Yeah, not good. So yeah, so he has like a cabin there too. Is that right? That he's been going to or that he's been staying in?
There's like some other like how I imagined it. I don't think this is what it is, but how I imagined it is like if you had like a water tower or something or like a cell phone tower and he was going
Okay.
up there drinking booze and Annabelle was sneaking out hanging out with him.
Oh, that's where they were going. They're going to the
And
water
they
tower.
Yeah, is she pregnant by the end? Is that part of the
I
reason
don't think
why?
so.
Okay.
I don't think
But
she's pregnant.
her family was like, "We're so excited that they're together."
Yeah, they're friends, right? With the McLennans.
Yeah, but someone said like they're not really excited about it, but they're just pretending to be excited.
Oh, okay. Wait, why
So
aren't they actually
that
excited?
I think because of the age difference. I remember
I mean,
that
there's
being said
lots of
somewhere.
reasons to not be excited, but if they're both the Richie Rich, I just assumed they would be excited.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's such a great pairing." I'll have to find a line somewhere. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so Annabelle has been with John Paul. So that's another layer to the plot here because she gets off scot-free and Luis goes to jail or whatever, gets held up.
Yeah.
Um
No, she goes to jail.
she actually
She's
goes
in
in jail.
Yeah, she's in jail for like 2 or 3 days, and then someone surprisingly bails her out, and she doesn't know
Oh,
who it
okay.
is.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, anything else on the John Paul front before we get to Luis being bailed out of jail?
Um, he's a creep. We talked about that.
Definitely a
The
creep.
Annabelle thing, I think that's why Annabelle said that um Luis gave her the drugs because she and John Paul had probably been in contact at some point, I would
Mm.
imagine. And they were like cooking up their story. That's how I'm imagining it.
Okay.
They don't say that, but you know.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And so at the end of the book, we forgot this for the other people. At the end of the book, Peter 2 and 3 are both arrested, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um Alice is let go because it's been long enough since her murder, I guess. And then John Paul gets arrested. um for abuse, for drugs.
He goes to jail because Luis is like, I'm gonna talk about how you beat me to a pulp. And I have
Okay.
pictures and I have evidence,
That's right. That's right.
and there were little girls at your party.
Yeah.
I remember that. And there
True.
was a lot of things.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons he could go to jail.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's John Paul's story. Um, and then yeah, Luis, we find out who bailed Luis out of jail. none other than Mrs. Stoddard, Carl's wife. And Carl's
Mm-hmm.
wife was like, I scraped all my pennies together because I couldn't live. I would rather die in poverty than see the Van Laars imprison another innocent townie. And we find out that Mrs. Stoddard is none other than Scary Mary.
Ah, there's no way we would have known she was Scary Mary.
No.
Alice Alice was the red herring, I guess, for Scary
Oh,
Mary.
that's right. We did think it was Alice. Alice would make a lot more sense based off what we knew.
Yeah, based off what we knew.
Yeah, so Mrs. Stoddard, her first name is Marianne, which is how Louise pieced this together. She has gray hair and she wanders the woods every night looking for clues that would what's the word?
Vindicate.
Vindicate. Yeah, vindicate her late husband's good name. And so the
Come
campers
on,
make up
lady.
stories about her. Okay, yeah. I was like, "What?"
You're looking for candy wrappers out there? 10 years
Yeah.
after the fact? Like, what are you looking to find? The body, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. Walking the woods by herself at night, that sounds terrifying. I don't know if she knows the
That
woods well enough for that.
that's literal spaceship territory. Like, what are you even saying?
That was pretty crazy. Okay, question though. So Tracy, who is Barbara's spunk mate, she had gone out looking for Barbara. Um, and then she gets directed back to camp by this individual.
Yeah,
Who was that individual, do you think?
I think it's definitely Scary Mary.
I was still thinking it was Slitter, but then I saw on the Reddits that people are like, "Oh yeah, that was Scary Mary," and I said, "Oh, that makes a lot more sense, I guess."
I think I feel like there's a line that maybe it doesn't say it exactly, but it's like, it's pretty much like saying, hey, she's Scary Mary.
Mm, okay, good. So yeah, so Scary Mary pays bail for Luis. Um, anything else with Luis? Lee comes
We
up to
kind of
her.
get kind of like a wrap up on her family life. She goes back and she's like taking care of her kid brother, and her kid brother is like, John Paul sucks.
Oh yeah.
And Louise is like, dang. Like, even my 10-year-old kid brother sees that. And what does she end up doing? She's just like, I'm
I
gonna,
forget.
oh, I think she's like, I'm gonna go back to school, I think.
Oh, is that
Because I
it?
remember, yeah, I remember her seeing, like, she was like in her room and she sees all the stuff, all of her like awards and all of her opportunity when she was in her bedroom. And
Uh-huh.
she's like, I'm not good enough to like accomplish any of this, you know? Like, I'm not like smart enough to go to college or this or that. And then she saw, like, when she was in high school, like how much ambition she had. And she's like, I'm gonna go back and like do that.
Oh, I remember her throwing out all those things. She was walking to throw them into the dumpster, and that's when Lee Towson comes back to her house.
Lee Towson does come back to her, and it sounds like they do it in the driveway.
Oh yeah, they do. That was a wild time. I was like,
She's
what?
like, she's like, one last time before you go to Colorado. And then we find out Lee Towson, he was his like criminal record thing. We thought maybe it was with Barbara. Turns out it's just some rando. He was like 18 and she was
16.
16,
Yeah.
something like that. Something somewhat innocuous. And then the dad was like, hate your guts, and then turned him in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I kind of forget exactly what happens with Louise, but yeah, I think things are looking up for her. I was kind of disappointed. Well, okay, were you disappointed Barbara actually didn't have any love interests and she was actually just an independent woman who wants to live in the woods? Or do you like that?
um, I'm okay with it. I wanted my prediction to be right.
I know that's what I was thinking. I think I'm good with it, but yeah, I would prefer to be right.
Yeah. So, okay. So, sorry. Just jump back to Louise.
Hmm.
Her and Jesse are at dinner, and Jesse's like, "You should get a different job." And she's like, "I don't know." She's like, "You're really smart. You could do anything you want. You could go back to Union, which is school." "On whose dollar?" says Louise. "I don't know. Borrow it from the bank. Isn't that what they do?" She says, "It sounds exhausting." She feels as if she's at the base of a mountain looking up, but she's climbed mountains before, run up them even. So I took that as she's going back to school.
Mm. Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good line.
Do I care that Barbara, I don't know. Yeah, I think I just wanted it to be Lee so I could be right.
I know. That's how I feel too. Okay, does the ending make sense though for Barbara? She wants to live off into a forest. Did you think that was spaceship territory?
That felt weird.
4 years is a long time to live in the woods.
When you're a kid,
I know. It's premature.
yeah, and you're just like going to be there and you're just going to like not do school and then you faked your death and then when you come back like what? She's going to be 18 and she's going to be like, "Just kidding, I wasn't dead."
Yeah.
Is she going to get in trouble for obstruction of justice?
I don't think so.
For like I mean, if the parents like covered up the murder and they go to jail and she, pretends to be murdered.
Can you go to jail for running away? Because that's basically what she's doing. She ran away just with a really elaborate plan.
Well, you can run away, but if you stage your death, then it's different. Like there's this she was a hot mom, and I think in California, and she staged her death or her kidnapping. And all these people were like looking for her, and it was like costing all of this like police time. And I think she went to jail or um Sherry Papini. Yeah, she went to
Mm.
jail.
So
She
you
pleaded
can't
guilty to
just,
faking her own kidnapping and lying about it to the FBI. Was released from federal prison to community confinement.
wow.
Because it's like you're using up police time for a
Right.
fake crime, and then there's people who really need it,
Right.
and you're out here being a little rich kid trying to frame someone for your murder.
Right. That did not happen in such a bad influence. She seemed to get off scot-free.
Uh, I know. I mean, that's true. Yeah, she didn't go to jail either.
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe because she's young.
Well, I mean, Barbara's even younger.
Right. So maybe Barbara won't go to jail either.
Yeah. Maybe she could say that she fled for her life. They killed my brother. They're going to kill me.
Fair. I mean, I kind of thought those were the vibes she was giving. Okay. Um, I also wanted our other prediction of Barbara and TJ doing this on purpose to reopen Bear's case. I wanted that to happen. It kind
Oh,
of
I
just
thought that
seemed
was
to be
so
a
good.
coincidence that Bear got solved also.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think part of the reason, well, I was going to say is because TJ she already knew what it was. So it's like she wasn't super motivated to quote unquote solve the case
I
because
guess
she
that's true.
already knew it. But she probably wanted justice.
She wanted justice. Yeah. Do you think she told Barbara the truth?
Definitely.
Mm. I think that's why Barbara feels connected to Bear because Barbara brings a picture of Bear to her little cabin house. And it's like she never met Bear, you know?
Yeah. She's probably like, "I got out and you didn't,"
Yeah. I think that's it.
you know?
Like, I know your struggle, Bear.
Yeah, but I mean, her struggle sounds like it was even worse because at
Oh
least they
yeah.
liked Bear.
I know.
They
Yeah.
hated her stinking guts.
I know. They were sending her off to prison school.
She would definitely go to jail now that I'm thinking about it because she really was setting up John Paul
Oh yeah.
like a lot. Like besides the bloody cloth, the drugs, she
The
painted a
mural.
freaking mural. And so that's why she was so upset when they covered it up because she was like, I worked so hard planting this evidence and my freaking mom broke in and painted it up. I did notice there was a last minute clue if you didn't figure out that TJ and Barbara were in cahoots.
Oh, what was it?
TJ and Barbara both had the same type of lock. Barbara had like a lock on her door, and then there was like a
Oh,
the barn or something where TJ was hiding her dad
oh,
had
that's
the same
right.
type of lock.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good clue. Didn't pick up on that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I think the last part of the story is with Vic Hewitt and Judita. So
hmm
we find out that when the police detectives, whoever, moved into TJ's house, TJ moved herself and her dad, who she had to basically carry across the whole forest, into the slaughterhouse, which is where Judita had heard footsteps, but they said, oh, it's just squirrels. And so nothing came of it. But it turns out they've secretly been living there. And she left, was it to protect Vic? Or like, why exactly did they move in again? I forget.
That was a little unclear to me. I think well, number one is because the police decided to make TJ's house their headquarters.
Right.
So, so that's the first thing. And she says that. She said, you guys took my house. Like I had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think she was similar to Alice. Hewitt was being, Vic Hewitt by TJ was being like locked up so he didn't say something because he had like Alzheimer's.
Mm.
So I think she was just worried he was a loose cannon.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's kind of how I took it.
Okay. Well, Judita has no fear and she walks into the slaughterhouse by herself at like 10 o'clock at night. She goes through the forest with her little flashlight, walks into a slaughterhouse where she heard ominous footsteps a few months before, a few days before, whatever.
Oh my God.
And she goes up into the door or up the stairs, knocks on the door by herself. Anyways, she discovers that Vic Hewitt and TJ have been living there. And then she's able to interview Vic. And that's when she finds out everything, right? Vic tells her the truth.
hmm
Yeah. So Vic spills the
Vic or
beans.
TJ?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I kind of took it that Vic is like he's only a little there.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But regardless, the story of Vic is relayed to
Right.
Judita.
To Judita. Um, then so Judita knows that. And then Judita sees Luis having dinner with Jesse, you know,
hmm
later on after Luis's story has kind of, come to a conclusion. And I forget what she finds out from Luis, but basically Judita's able to put the pieces together that Barbara is at TJ's cabin. I think Luis
hmm
finds out that TJ has another cabin. Maybe that's it.
So I think Judita, she says something about like TJ because she's like, I don't know where they are because they disappeared. And then Luis is like, oh, well, what about their winter cabin? And she's like, their
Mm.
winter cabin.
Oh, wait, no, it's that little pin on their map. They have a whole
Yeah.
map in their yeah, and there's a little
I,
pin on it, which yeah, do they know that's where the cabin is or it's just a place she likes to go?
I think she was just like the meme woman putting everything together. It was one of those things where Luis said something and then it was like, do. And then all the pieces go together. And then she goes to the cabin and she sees where the pin is. And then she goes to the slaughterhouse and she
Yeah.
starts solving it.
Yeah, she goes to the slaughterhouse. Okay, and then she finds out where Barbara is. So then she drives over there on a Saturday morning and she swims like 10 miles or something, or however much it is, out into this island. And this is how the story ends. She sees Barbara come out of the woods, and Barbara's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then Judita's like, "Do you want," she says, like, "Do you want to talk about it?" Or like, "Do you want to be left alone?" I think is what it is. And Barbara says yes. And Judita says, "Okay, my work here is done." And then she dives back into the water and swims the 10 miles back. And then Barbara like dissolves into the forest.
Yeah.
That's the end.
So, okay, Barbara living in the forest by herself. That's kind of strange. Oh, but
Pretty wild.
whatever. Let's pretend. I think what this is supposed to do is you have all the generations and you have like this cyclical thing happening, right? Where you have the rich people, they do bad things, they blame the townies.
Mm-hmm.
First, it happened with Bear, and it was happening again with Barbara, and now they're blaming Louise, who has nothing to
Mm-hmm.
do with it, just like they did with Carl. But this time around, we're seeing the cycle break. And so there's a
Yeah.
couple things where it's broken. First, where Louise gets off, she's scot free. And then, oh, shoot, I'm losing my train of thought. It was really good, though. It was,
Symmetry. Townie's not getting in trouble. Barbara breaks a cycle.
yeah, it was more than just like Barbara, like surviving. Here it is. So the first cop, he wanted to pin it on Carl because that was like his award-winning case and it made him like top dog sheriff. And Judita had the same option
Mm.
where she could have blown up Barbara's spot and she would have been
Oh,
hailed the victor. But
that's
again, here's
good.
another person, and then they're choosing to break the cycle.
Oh, that's really good. I like that.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Mm.
I like that part of it. And then maybe I don't think it's really breaking the cycle. Maybe it's breaking the cycle with Barbara basically rejecting her family and their toxicity.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think there's a lot of good things there because yeah, the rich people are using the land like to live there, but like for their own enjoyment or whatever. But now Barbara's
Hmm.
kind of returning back to like living off of the land and
Hmm.
like
Oh,
living
that's
with
good.
the
Yeah.
land, I guess.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I also noticed I thought this was cool. Kind of like what you were saying with Judy breaking the cycle. We see Vic Hewitt rows Bear out to bury his body, but TJ canoes Barbara out to the island.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So I know
good.
I thought that was a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of symmetry like that. There's
Hmm.
probably more that I missed.
I think
I'm
there's the
sure there's
same
something.
idea of like the cuckolding with um Louise and Annabelle and John Paul.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
A little bit in reverse, where Annabelle might be more of like the Alice type in this one, and Judy would be more of the Delphine, a little bit older and
Annabelle
smarter.
would be the Delphine.
No, like,
Judy?
so Annabelle, she's young, she's maybe more innocent
Uh-huh.
seeming, and then it's like a flip. And the one who would be Delphine would probably fit closer to Louise,
Oh, I
who's
see.
like
I see.
smart and a little bit more worldly, but it's been flipped around. And now
Oh.
the Alice archetype is the aggressor.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow, that's a
Yeah.
good one. We got a lot of good
Hmm.
connections here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's probably a couple other ones in there too.
I'm sure there's got to be something with the Stoddards.
Carl and
Stoddard,
them.
yeah, Carl got blamed for it. I mean,
Yeah, I
Luis
took,
is the other one.
well, I think that to me was the connection is that Carl was like victimized That was like the first wrong. And then they made it up with Luis. And like the wife is the one who got her out of jail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that
But
makes sense.
is there more than that? Probably.
Yeah, probably. I guess Slitter was the one he saw Bear be buried and he revealed it.
Yeah.
Was there anything else with Slitter really that was important? He ended up giving some clues, and it made sense why he was in the woods when one would see Bear being buried. Was he mainly red herring though, you think?
I feel like he was mainly a red herring. And I think also, in addition to being a red herring, I feel like it also shows like the lack of respect that the Van Laars had for the townies because you had this actual serial killer running around murdering people left and right. And they're like, I bet Carl did it. And they gave him a heart attack and he died.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, see, guilty. And they knew he didn't do it. And it's like they could have just,
Yeah.
like, they knew who did it. They could have easily said, we think it's the serial killer. And everyone would have been like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Why did they not? Just to have like concrete, like, oh, this guy who
Well,
saw Bear.
I think how Vic says it or whoever says it is that it started, the rumor mill started that it was Carl. And then it started swirling. And then that
It
captain
was just
guy,
convenient.
yeah, he picked it up and then he started going with it and then he died. And so the Van Laars were like, well, he's already dead. So it's not going to hurt anybody if we just say that he did it, not thinking of the implications that it would have for the family
Mm.
to have to be like, my husband, my dad
Yeah.
is not a murderer.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Hmm. Intriguing. I wonder if Louise's story were to continue, if we would see her family that's kind of like broken right now, kind of be restored somehow through her like coming back home and like being going back to school or whatever, while
Mhm.
Carl's family, like they were united and then they were kind of like blown apart,
Fragmented. Yeah,
fragmented.
because
Yeah.
you find out by the end that the mom doesn't talk to any of like the kids because she's
Yeah.
wandering the woods at night.
That's right.
I would never let mom just wander the woods at night.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. That's terrifying.
I just said, Mom, no. Like, we're moving. You can't come back here. This is not good for you. You need to go to a doctor.
They didn't have those back in the 70s.
No, that's true. They didn't. They'd give you a lobotomy.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
there was one other thing. Oh. With Slitter, what's interesting about him is that in kind of a roundabout way, he's the linchpin that revealed Bear's death, therefore putting the Peters in jail. Kind of like like maybe like a vindication for his family.
Interesting. So like he's
Maybe.
because it seems okay, we actually I guess never get a super clear answer on whether Slitter murdered people. He's
No,
definitely
we
been in
do.
jail.
No, he murdered.
What does he say? Does he say that?
I feel like we watch him break into people's houses and kill people.
He breaks into their houses. We see him break into houses for sure. I think he probably has a gun. And he grabs their gun. So like it seems like he's ready to kill people. But he never actually says like, "Oh, I didn't kill that kid." Or does he say that about Bear?
He says that he
He does.
did not kill. He says, I think he says like I killed a lot of people, but not that one. I think he does. I think that's what he says. I
Oh, does he really? Well, but when he's talking to Judy, he never confesses, which like, makes sense, whatever. He doesn't want to. But like I don't see why he would confess it in one place, why confess it ever? Unless that was just his personal thought, right?
Okay, let's see what he says. Okay, this is what he says. Hayes, the captain, says, Slitter, is a known liar. He's never admitted to anything before. Okay, to your point. And then they press play. I know where Bear Van Laar is, Slitter says on the tape, but I didn't kill him. So maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know. Maybe he just likes crashing parties and staying in people's homes when they're not around. I mean, but there were a string of deaths everywhere he went. So if not him, someone else.
Correlation isn't causation,
That is true. That is true. But there's a yeah. Okay. So now that I'm thinking about the ending, there is a lot of symmetry that I
I really
like.
like that.
I I don't love Barbara going Jungle Book.
You
Yeah.
know, but I also see it being really fitting is that she went to go live in the woods.
Yeah.
Like what else? I think the thing I like the least is that I didn't guess any of it. But that's probably the sign of a good mystery is that I didn't guess any of it.
Yeah, I mean, some of it you're not going to be able to guess.
Right. Scary Mary, no clues for that one.
No clues. It would have been really hard to guess some of these things. I feel like we were like really close on some of them.
With Barbara, I think we got the right idea that she wanted to escape. She wanted to be on
Hmm.
her own. Did we think she was going camping? We thought she was going to go wherever Bear was.
Yeah. And we also knew that her and TJ were in cahoots.
Okay, yeah, we knew that.
We knew that. We I'm gonna take credit for knowing that Delphine and Peter were together because I saw on one of these pages, like 100 pages before it happened, I said, "Is Delphine in the bedroom?" And it was like just a passing thought that I had, but I
Mm,
wasn't super confident about that, so I'll only give myself half
mm-hmm.
credit for that.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, on page 321, I said, "Who's in there, Delphine?" And then when do we find out? Way later.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so we got that one. Um, We did not figure out Bear at all. I feel like we did a lot better with Barbara, but with Bear, we were striking out left and right.
Did you ever consider Alice? We considered the grandpa accidentally killed Bear. But
Yeah,
in
we never
hindsight, like, no,
considered that.
Alice makes sense.
Alice does make sense, and she's such a mess.
Yeah.
Just the fact that she doesn't remember it, you're kind of like that. That to me is what threw me off. Is that all she does is think about this, and she can't remember that she did it.
At least do that right, Alice. Come
Like,
on.
my God, yeah. She's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And it's like, "You killed him." But I'm sure
Oh
it's
my
like a
God.
denial. Like
Right.
she can't
And,
face the fact that she did it.
well, and she's been so brainwashed. I don't even know if it's in her brain anymore. Like
Right.
if that memory's still there.
Well, because house a la housemaid, Peter sent her to his doctor friend who pilled her up. And he's like,
Yeah.
anytime you think about Bear too hard, honey, you take one of these pills, maybe two or three.
I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah. So yeah, Alice nowhere on my radar. The grandpa wasn't as evil as I thought. I mean, he was pretty bad, but he didn't we don't learn anything especially, maniacal.
yeah, he sounds like he's a jerk, and he's an a-hole. You know, he doesn't sound kind,
No.
but he doesn't sound, and he probably slaps his wife around a little bit. Not saying that, I mean, that makes you pretty bad, but he's not like a serial killer,
Yeah.
in terms of like the badness scale. I felt like he was way, way up there. And he was
Right.
just like moderately up there.
Yeah. Do you want to hear our predictions from the first episode?
Oh, yeah,
Okay. We thought Barbara and Lee are dating. Still think that was a good one.
that was a good one, but
That was a
no.
good one, but no. We also thought because of that, they're in cahoots together. They're either going to destroy the camp or get all the money and go to Hawaii. So they're going to like go for ransom or something.
Yep,
Makes
didn't
more sense
happen.
for Barbara to be in the woods, I think. I think that's a
Yeah,
more fitting ending.
yeah, I agree.
Okay. We also thought that Peter too assaulted TJ, and that's why she cut off her hair. That could be how TJ and Luis bonded.
That's
That
a
is
good
how they
one.
bonded. Yeah,
Yeah, but it was John Paul beating up Luis.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So different guy, same scenario. Okay. We also thought, of course, our favorite prediction that Delphine kidnapped Bear and Barbara, and perhaps Delphine is working with Jacob Slitter to keep the kids, to take the kids and keep them safe.
Okay, no, Delphine should not have those kids anywhere. She, she might be the most monstrous of them all. I don't even know.
I know. They're all pretty bad.
Just, oh. Okay, what else? Any others?
Those are our predictions. At least the ones I wrote down.
Yeah, those sound pretty good. One last scene before we do our wrap-up games. Did we talk about how we find out that the boy who's in Barbara's bed is actually just TJ?
I know Barbara's so innocent all around. She just wants to hang out with TJ all day.
That made me laugh so hard, where they're like, it was some young boy. We don't know. He fled out the window, and it's TJ with her bad haircut.
Well, I think what happens is the house mom or whoever sees somebody flee out the window and she's like, "Who was that?" And Barbara's like, a boy from town," because that's all she can think of.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's part of it. But yeah, apparently TJ could pass for a boy with her bad haircut anyway.
Oh my God.
That's wild. Okay, ready for our games?
Yep.
All right, what's our ranking ratings?
Oh, all right. Good message or a theme?
I don't really know what oh, you know what? She pulled in a lot of good themes here. I'll say 4.5.
Yeah. What are some of the themes that you liked?
I liked how she pulled up differences between the classes, like the rich
Hmm.
people blaming the townies, and then that all kind of got like subverted at the end. Um, what are other things? I mean, like
I like the
justice was eventually
symmetry.
served. I know I don't know if that's part of the message though, but I do like the symmetry also. Oh, unless you're just talking about the symmetry of like these things were wronged at the beginning, then they're righted at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too.
I like that too. I think I'm gonna give it a 5. I really liked it.
I know. I was between 4.5, 5.
Stick with your gut.
Okay, 4.5.
All right, writing style.
I'll give it a 5.
I'll give it a 5 too. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Character depth.
I think also a 5. Um, my gut is 5, but I am also thinking like Peter 3, he also I don't know. I mean, some people are just like they're just bad. There doesn't seem to be anything else to them. But also there's like 12 characters. So the fact that like 6 of them are dynamic, it's like, yeah, that's all you have time for.
I would say anyone that you had a point of view felt
Yeah,
very
that's
fleshed
true.
out,
That's very true.
and the other people felt a little one-dimensional, but I don't know that I blame that because sometimes that's all you see.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna stick with 5.
All right. I think I'm gonna go
You
with a
convinced
five
me.
too. Lands the plane.
I liked it. I felt satisfied at the end. At some points, it was a little bit weird, but I do really like the symmetry.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm between 4.5 and a 5 again. I don't know what I would have changed. Oh, I do feel like some things were a little bit loose. There's a few
Mm.
loose ends that I would have tied up. So 4.5.
I would have given it a four before we spoke, but after we talked about the symmetry, now I really like that. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
I like that too. For the same reason of like loose ends, like what would make it a 5?
There were just some things where I'm like, that feels weird. In
Yeah.
particular, why Alice kills someone and doesn't go to jail, but
Yeah.
the Peters do. That's weird. I do think it's kind of weird that Barbara, I know like I do like that like she ends up in the woods, but it's also like I it feels weird to me that she's just there until she's like 18.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an odd.
Purgatory.
That's a long time.
She doesn't even have her
And she,
math books.
right. And she, like who's going to take over the bank, So I don't
Yeah.
know. But overall I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, any other points? Repetition, pacing, anything not addressed?
Anything not addressed? Uh,
Anything you want to critique or give extra
I
credit
like that it
to?
kept me guessing the whole time. The
Hmm.
character cast, that was kind of confusing. In the end, though, eventually I got it. That was confusing. Also I learned that some of this stuff was based off of real things. The Endirondacks are actually a place. I didn't know that.
Oh, is that the school? Yeah.
No, that's what the woods are called. Yeah.
Oh,
So I didn't know that. So I feel like everything was like really well thought out and like researched, you know? I give it a
yeah.
5.
I'm thinking a five too. It feels like a very smart read without being like too difficult to
Yeah.
understand, you know?
Yeah.
The cast was confusing, but I think that's what made it so interesting is that you had all these different pieces going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked it.
I liked it too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we gave a lot of fives, so I can do most of this math in my head. I gave it 5, 10, 15, 20. I gave it 24.5 out of 25.
Wow. Did I also
So
give it 24.5?
you gave it 24 out of 25.
Mm,
So what does
a
that
little bit of
average
a
to?
stickler. 4.85.
4.85. Yeah. Yeah.
You want
We
to
really
round it
like
to a
this one.
5?
No,
Or do we let the numbers stand?
we let the number stand. But my
Numbers
Goodreads
don't
will be a
lie.
5. I'll make a Goodreads for
Yeah.
it, but it'll be a 5.
It was really good. I would recommend this book for sure.
Oh, we didn't do the emoji game.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, let's share emojis. Okay, we don't have a name for this game yet, right?
No, not yet. You're supposed to workshop it.
I'm still
She didn't.
workshopping.
Emojilicious
I
is what we have right now, but we texted each other our thoughts of the ending using only emojis.
thought that was great.
Yeah. So, Chrissy, go through your emojis and then tell me why you picked each one.
Okay, I put the scary face where he's like gasping. His face is kind of
Hmm.
blue. The upset face where the eyes look like two V's facing each other, I
Yep.
guess, kind of in pain, kind of in agony. Then I
Yep.
put the face where the head has exploded and there's just
Yep.
a mushroom cloud. Then I put the face where it's smiling with the tear dropping. And then I put the little monster face. I'll put these in the description
Yeah.
because that one's hard to describe. But scary face because I had no idea Alice was the one who killed Bear. Sad face because Alice's story arc is just so sad.
So
Nothing good
sad.
happens to this woman. So
No.
that was devastating. Mind was blown when all the details were uncovered about how they covered up Bear and then also other things with like Barbara and stuff. Um, yeah, basically all the details. Happy smiley face. because justice was served and things were working out and like, all the wrongs were righted in the end. And then barbarian face at the end because Barbara goes to live in the woods.
That's good. Okay, I had a detective with his little magnifying glass, an angry face, a sobbing face, eye roll, and then a rocket ship. Which the rocket ship was
A
not really
classic.
deserved, but it's how I felt in the moment. So the detective is because I felt like I sniffed out Delphine.
You were the detective. I thought that was for Judy.
Now it's for me. These are all me. The angry face is also me because I found out that I was right about Delphine.
Delphine,
This
that was upsetting.
that was deeply upsetting to me. It got 2 out of my 5 emojis. The sobbing, that was for all of Alice and Bear. So
Yeah.
sad. The eye roll, I can't remember what that was specifically, but I think it was just like
Rich
Alice not
people.
going to jail and
Oh.
and the Peter's going to jail. That really, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then the rocket ship to me at the time was Barbara going to live in the woods. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's still a little wild.
It's a little weird. It's a
Yeah.
little weird.
Okay. Quick notes from Reddit. People love this book. Everyone was a big fan. The only like slightly negative things where people weren't super sold on the ending. It was kind of similar. They're like, it felt unrealistic, a little bit unbelievable. And there's this one comment where someone said, usually authors don't have multiple characters with similar names or even starting with the same letter, but Liz Moore went for it. Because the other negative thing was the character cast was kind of confusing. But overall, people really loved it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The character cast is really confusing if you're not like sitting and dissecting and like legitimately like mapping it out.
Yeah.
That's a lot to ask for from a reader,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. There was a lot of characters. I wonder if I were to read it again now that I know how the ending is, I feel like I'd pick up on a lot of things now too.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet this is one of those books where there's probably value rereading it because you'll probably see like a lot of things.
Yeah. I bet so.
So I could
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Okay. Are there any other games?
Any questions for the author?
Oh, questions for the author. What does Alice do now?
I know. Like now she has 0 kids.
Zero kids, zero family. She goes back to her parents, is where she currently is, but doesn't
Yeah.
have a sister anymore, basically. Does she get, yeah, I don't know. Does she get back on her feet? Does
I
she go
think she
back to
goes
school
to
like Delphine said?
no. She goes to sane asylum.
Oh, poor Alice.
I know. And she learns to like crochet or something.
Oh, man. Yeah, Alice is the saddest character.
Yeah. I think maybe inspiration. I always like to know that.
Mm. Oh, okay. So there was a serial killer who went through the Adirondacks. I think around this
Oh.
time. Yeah. I found that on the Reddits too. So yeah, I would want to know what is all the different inspiration things.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So apparently okay. So I found this interview with Liz Moore, and she said that her maternal ancestors came from the Adirondacks. Her mother was born and raised just south of there. Her dad is not from there, but he loves to tell a ghost story. And he had no problem scaring his children and grandchildren about all the scary things that happened in the Adirondacks for many generations, including Robert Garrow, the real life serial killer who escaped incarceration and for whom there was a manhunt not once, but twice. And that's who Jacob Slitter was based on.
Okay, that sounds like almost a 1-to-1.
I know.
So I think based on this, we can infer that he definitely killed those people, Chrissy.
Okay, I guess you're right. Okay, I also was convinced until the very end that Bear was alive.
I
So, yeah,
I
this
would
book
ask,
taught
was
me,
there
uh-huh.
any rendition of the
Mm.
book where Bear was alive?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, do
Yeah.
you want to know what else I learned from my interview with Liz Moore
Yeah.
that I read online? She said that the way she writes mystery books, or I guess all of her books, is she doesn't draft it out ahead of time. She just writes. And so she doesn't know what the answers are either when she's writing. And then she'll
What?
go back and she'll like re-edit and like all those things. But that's part of how I
Oh.
think that's part of how she gets it. So like you don't see it coming. It's like she didn't even see it coming. She's not putting in all the all the clues because she doesn't know. She might add them in later.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very like odd way to do it, but it seems very effective.
Yeah, it worked.
Because I could see like I'm like, "Oh, I'll do that." And then I do it and then it's like nothing makes sense by the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like it seemed like you didn't have a plan there.
Like you'd be right.
Yeah, you'd be
I
exactly
guess you'd
right.
have to, yeah, I guess you'd have to just really develop the characters and be like, okay, here's my set of characters. What would they naturally do? And then it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So
I could
maybe
see
that's what
that.
she does. Yeah. Okay, other questions? I like that
Mm,
question about Bear. Was he ever alive?
yeah, in any of her editions.
What's Barbara
Um,
gonna do after the woods?
I think the big question that I have is what was Delphine's problem?
Mm. Was
Like
she just
Delphine
using
to me,
Alice?
yeah, Delphine as a character to me, she makes the least sense. Like, is she just, I don't know.
She's just mean.
Yeah. Like, who would set their sister up like that? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, set her up and then for years go
For
on.
years.
And then have the audacity to say, I tried to warn you. I said, go have some fun. Didn't you hear
I
my
said
warning?
I said that once 10 years ago. I don't know why you didn't listen. You never listen, Alice.
That was really the evilest thing Delphine did.
Literally be like, I told you this is your fault. I did the best I could.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Man.
I would want to know about that. Why did Peter marry her?
Yeah, I
Because
want to
to
know that.
me, it seems like when someone is so devoted to trying to be like a good partner, how can you not at some level like be appreciative and be like, maybe they're not everything I wanted, but it's like they're trying so hard to make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can at least appreciate that part of them and throw them a bone.
I wonder if he just never intended to care for her, you know? So then that was just kind of it. Like that's never even on his radar that he might,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think that's a good question.
Like maybe he was always in love with Delphine and she married this guy George for some
Oh,
reason.
maybe that'd be interesting.
I mean, that was the Camilla and Charles. Bring it back to
Mm,
the his royal highness.
yeah.
But the only reason, but that like I don't know. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense because it's like maybe he was really in love with Delphine and Delphine was just whatever. And then her and George were like, we're going to have an open relationship. And then she's like, sure, why not?
Perfect.
Yeah. And he's like, this is the best I can get. I don't know. It's weird. That just didn't make sense to me.
Mm,
And like, why didn't he tell Alice to have like an open relationship if he was going to be boinking her sister?
Oh, well, I think he didn't trust Alice to keep it secret because that's the whole thing. It's all about appearances, you
Yeah.
know, so no one can know about him and Alice. And also, it's like he probably doesn't think Alice deserves that. Like I don't think he thinks anything
Yeah.
about Alice,
Yeah.
which is just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I had another Alice question. There's a whole like little monologue that she has about not non-secular, which
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up. I'm like, what is the exact definition of this? And it says, um, not secular of or relating to religion or the church. And so I feel like there's a whole other path we could go down too, thinking about all the like kind of religious imagery. Because you have like the god of the woods. And it's like, who is the god of the woods? And then Alice has this whole thing about being non secular. And I kind of forget what she was saying about it, but like I just feel like there's a lot there that we probably could go into had we had more time and put our thoughts
Yeah,
together on that.
that was like that was the first big word she learned.
Yeah.
And she she was like really tickled by it.
Uh, well, she had a lot of things to say. It seemed to be pretty. I think that's when she is that when she found out about Delphine.
I can't remember. I
Oh,
remember the monologue, but I can't remember when it happened.
here
Do you
I
have
found
it?
it. You want me to read it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is right after she finds out about Delphine and Peter, and it's after she remembers Delphine saying, um, "Oh, okay." Other thing about Delphine. Delphine said, "Okay, I told you you could have some fun. Why didn't you do that?" Ugh, awful. Okay, and then she says, "Will you leave him, Alice? You could, you know." And it's like, is she trying to
Oh.
make them break up so Delphine can be with them? Anyway, so Delphine, awful all around. Um, but then Alice goes into her monologue where she learns the word non-secular. And this is a word that comes to mind when she thinks of the liminal space between life and death in which she encounters her son. The space in which she lets herself acknowledge what she did is non-secular. The space in which she doesn't work so hard to stop the slivers of light and memory that come at her from time to time in unexpected moments so sharply that she feels as if she's been stabbed is non-secular. In this world, when those memories come, she accepts them, examines them impassively, opens herself to them instead of willing them away.
Yeah, I read
So,
that and it sounded nice, and I didn't really understand it then. I still don't really understand it now.
yeah, I feel
It
like that's something
sounds,
I could think about.
yeah, I might have to sit on it. It sounds like she's talking about like almost being able to peel back like the veneer of reality and being able to see like a spiritual world or something so that she could see
Yeah.
Bear. But that feels religious coded to me. So that doesn't feel non-secular. But she just
Well,
learned the word. So,
well, no. So I thought of it opposite too, but non-secular would relate to the church because secular is not the church.
oh,
So non-secular would be you're not secular. It is religious.
oh,
So
yeah, okay.
yeah, I think that is kind of the idea maybe of like she likes. So the part above this is that she takes her pills, and this is how she hears him best on the other side of the veil in the other world, the one where Bear lives. And so, yeah, it looks like there is this idea of like something kind of supernatural happening.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on the fact that I just made fun of Alice for just learning a word and I used it wrong. How embarrassing. Yeah, so I guess what she's saying is like maybe she's not religious, but she it kind of feels to me like she's her brain is noodling around, like basically trying to unlock this memory that she killed Bear,
Yeah,
and she can't fully access it.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Or she feels like when she's super like intoxicated, then she's like able to release her inhibitions such that she can see beyond the veil,
Yeah.
into the
And
afterlife type of thing.
yeah, I think that makes sense.
I don't know.
That's probably a good read. But yeah, I think we could read this book again and noodle on things.
I think so too. Okay, so next book we're gonna do Housemaid 2.
Housemaid 2. Are you so excited or what?
I'm pretty excited.
Oh my gosh.
So
We
a
finally
four
made it
point,
back.
we finally made it back to our roots. A 4.24 on Goodreads.
Wow. What was the first housemaid?
I think like a 4.1, but this eye looks like that she got eyelash extensions.
Yeah, no, this eye was not off of photo stock.
It
This
wasn't?
one was, well, I don't know. It just looks nicer,
Oh, yeah, because
right?
okay,
Doesn't
yeah,
it?
she definitely got eyelash extensions in the second one. She's got money now.
Yeah, no, the first job went very well.
She got a lot of
Nice to
money
get
from
money.
Nina Winchester. She can get
Mm-hmm.
eyelash extensions whenever she wants.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm looking at these side by side. The first housemaid, it says New York Times bestseller. The Housemaid's Secret, the second one that we're reading, it says the international bestseller.
Uh,
I wonder, is Frida even still a doctor? I wonder if she's full housemaid.
she has to keep operating on brain so she can keep coming up with these ideas.
That's right. That's where she gets all of her source material.
Well, she's either a brain surgeon or she's a psychologist. And I think she's a psychologist because she has to listen to people talk about their crazy lives and their dirty secrets. And she's actually just doing research for her books.
Well,
Wait a
Frida,
minute.
we bought into it.
I can get the housemaid for $5. Oh, on Kindle. That's pretty good.
You get paperback for less than $8.
I know. Andrew and I were house poor with that tree.
I know it's hard to keep buying books. I finally got one from the library. It's very exciting.
I know. I'm jelly beans for you. All right. So we're going to meet up when?
Wednesday or Thursday? What about Wednesday would be better for me than Thursday? Because actually, Josh is coming back Thursday. Actually, I guess I don't have an abundance of time like I thought, but I could meet Wednesday.
Okay. Let's do Wednesday. How far in the book do you want to read?
Oh, I don't know. Let me go. Let me get it.
Just see how big it is and kind of partition it.
Okie dokie. Oh, oh my gosh. Do you want
What?
to? Okay, so this one actually has an author summary. I guess we could read it on the next episode,
Okay.
unless you want to know it now.
No, let's read it next time.
Okay, it's like 345 pages.
So last time we did
Want to do
sections of
80?
80, and that felt like a
That
good,
worked pretty well.
yeah. And how
Go until
many pages
80.
did you say it was? 360?
340,
340?
345. That's a lot of 80-page increments, but I feel like we could maybe do another big one. I feel like the first one we should do a little bit shorter. That's when we'll have the most wild of predictions. Anything could
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I think we should start with 80s and then maybe pick it up towards the end. Or you wanted
Okay.
to do even shorter, you're saying.
No, no, I think 80 is good.
Yeah, let's do the first 80 pages Wednesday.
Okay. I'm already
All
getting
right.
spooked.
Did this book spook you out?
Yeah, it's kind of
Out
antsy a
of the
little bit.
Woods?
Oh, no, not Gut Out of the Woods. No. No, that was good.
That was just good old mystery.
Yeah, I liked it. Especially because I thought Bear was alive the whole time and Jacob
I
Slitter didn't actually
know.
commit any crimes. I was reading this with rose-colored glasses.
Chrissy's like, no crimes have been committed. What do you think your favorite genre is now?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Fiction seems too broad of a genre,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure.
We've never done like a slice of life book. I feel like it'd be boring, but
Mm.
maybe we can try it.
We could try it. Yeah, we haven't done any nonfiction books.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we did Paper Menagerie is closest to slice of life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What's your favorite genre?
Probably mystery or fantasy.
Mm,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right, girly girl.
Okay, time for bed.
Yeah. All right. We'll chat Wednesday on the Housemaid.
Yeah. And we
Oh,
need to do our log out, sign
yeah.
out. Okay.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this God of the Woods journey.
Super fun. Let us know what other connections you saw that we may have missed, or tell us how good our connections were because we're just so brilliant.
I agree. I agree. We love to hear how smart we are. But if you have good
Yeah.
ideas, send them along. We would love to read
And we'll
them.
take them.
Yeah. And if you've gotten this far in the pod, that means you love it. So rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can do all those things on Spotify. You can rate us there. You can send us an email at bookalicious.pod@gmail.com
That's
and
right.
answer our polls. Tell us,
Yep,
would you sell your soul to the devil so you wouldn't have to raise 6 kids?
that's true. We also did a fiction or
Oh,
50s,
I
but
messed that one up.
you did it as factor 50s, so there's really only one option.
I knew what I wanted the answer to be. I realized that I meant to change it and then I never did. Now I'm confused. I'm like, what is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be fiction, but I don't think you can change it without deleting all the answers. So we're letting it ride.
Okay. Yeah, I need to create a new poll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know what it's supposed to be either. I could just get rid of the poll.
It's fiction or 50s.
Fiction or 50s. I'll see what I can do.
It's all right. In Bookalicious world, we do it always correct. And there was only one answer in this case.
And we told you.
And we told you what it was.
It's fact. And it's the 50s.
That's all right. All right, girly girl. Love
I
you.
love you.
Bye.
Bye.